Hello, hello to the folks who are starting to trickle in to today's webinar. Welcome. We are going to get started in just about a minute. If you'd like to introduce yourself while we wait for people to kind of get here and get situated, by all means, we'd love to hear from you. You can put your first name, the city that you're logging in from, and perhaps the certificate area you're interested in, whether that's data analytics or project management, Salesforce administration, or digital marketing. And just make sure that when you chat, if you do, that you're chatting to everyone or all panelists and attendees. Basically, we just want to make sure that everybody can see what you're saying. So once again, welcome. We'll start in now less than a minute, maybe 47 seconds if you're measuring on your stopwatch. But yeah, feel free to put a little intro in the chat while you're waiting. All right, Naisha from Seattle, hello. Rachel, how's it going? Thomas, how are you? Hey, Jared. Ebony, welcome. Joanne, there's Alexis. We'll hear more from them just in a second. All right, great. Glad to see so many people from so many different places and very excited to get this started. So, I assume everybody's in the right place and here for the right reasons, but just to double check, this is the NYU webinar today on digital skills certificates. And so you're going to hear a lot about all these different programs that are going to be offered, and whether you're interested in data analytics, like a lot of people were saying, or Salesforce or project management or digital marketing, we're going to have time to kind of go through each one of those programs in more depth. Today, this is just kind of the brief schedule that we'll be following. So we'll take some time to do some intros. You'll hear a little bit more about what Passstream is and why Passstream is partnered with NYU to offer these programs. And then you'll get an overview of each certificate. Like I was saying, we'll give you a demo of what the Passstream platform looks like. And then we'll have time for some Q&A. And keep in mind, you'll notice for the folks that put something in the chat, there's that chat button in these Zoom webinars. There's also a Q&A button that should be pretty close to it. So if you have a question at any point, don't hesitate. Just feel free to pop it in that Q&A button, and we'll be more than happy to take any and all questions that come. We'll probably save the live Q&A till the end, but if you want to put that question in, don't hesitate. You don't have to wait till the end to actually put your question in. Whenever it pops into your head, don't hesitate. You can just put it right in there. Let's do some intros though, to kind of let you all know who you're talking to. And I will pass it first to Alexis for their intro.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Alexis Seeley, and I run all of our professional and education programs at Tandon NYU. We are super excited to kick off a new initiative called the Collaborative Learning Institute, which I'll be running. And it's a combination of hybrid programs, fully online programs, and on-site programs, all around kind of workforce development and kind of eliminating the skills gap. As my bio says here, I've been working in education for quite some time, specifically within technology and curriculum design. And I'm delighted to have these Pathstream programs in my portfolio right now, and really excited to tell you all about the programs and NYU and anything that you'd want to know about these programs. So it's nice to meet you and be with you here tonight or this afternoon, late afternoon here, I guess, early evening. And I look forward to kind of chatting more as we go on. Thanks.
Thanks, Alexis. All right. Sorry, just skip the slide. Don't want to skip my own introduction. That wouldn't be good. My name is Anthony Jones. I'll be leading us all through the presentation today, kind of giving you an overview of Passstream in general, talking more about the Salesforce and Asana programs, and then showing you the platform demo and kind of curating that Q&A. I'm on the learning design team over here, and I've worked on a lot of our different programs and just the overall pedagogical approach that we take. So very excited to share more. But first, I would like to pass it to my esteemed colleague, Angelica Rojas.
Thanks, Anthony. So hi, everyone. My name is Angie, and I also work at Pathstream, primarily on the Tableau Data Analytics Certificate. I have a background working on various ed tech companies, more specifically on the development and instruction of data science, analytics, or coding programs. And I'm really going to be your point-to person for any questions around development, curriculum of the Tableau certificate. And I believe I'm going to pass it on to Nina.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Angie. I primarily work with the Facebook digital marketing program and worked with subject matter experts to develop it and run it. So I'm excited to share a little bit about how we developed it and what you'll find in that certificate.
Thanks, Nina, and thank you, Angie. So we'll just start by talking a little bit more about kind of what Pathstream, like what we are, who we are, generally speaking. But before we get into that, I'd like to pass it back to Alexis so that we can hear a little bit more about why NYU partnered with Pathstream in the first place.
Sure. So like I said, I've been working in higher ed for and curriculum development and specifically thinking with technology integration for a long time. And we chose to partner with Passstream at Tandon because we wanted to not only offer traditional degree programs, both undergraduate and master programs, but to also offer programs that focus on skills that are needed right now at an affordable price and in an accessible way. In an accessible way, not inaccessible. Stumbling over my words here. And so what we were looking to do is be able to offer those programs to as many people as possible. And Passstream, as we were looking at that, had a really great platform, which we'll get to see in a bit, which I think is really one of the great things about working with them, as well as an accessible curriculum that allows you to really learn at your own pace, at your own time, and really cater towards folks that are either currently working or taking care of people at home. Really allows you to kind of to work and study on your own. And the content is fantastic and the curriculum is great. So the folks that were on the curriculum development team, Nina and Angie and Anthony, only hear really great things about all of that content. So that's why we partnered with Passstream, and we're really happy with that partnership and hope you all join us in terms of our and join us in the community. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alexis. And just another plug for anybody who might have joined a little bit late. If you have any questions throughout, just make sure you put them in that Q&A and we'll get to them at the end. But like I said before, don't hesitate to put any questions you might have in the Q&A at any time. But let's talk a little bit more about Passstream generally. So to echo some of Alexis' points, we've seen at Passstream that demand for digital skills has been growing across industries and job functions. Passstream, our main mission isn't just to share learning or to have you take an academic course just for the sake of knowledge. We're really focused on learning as it relates to direct job outcomes. So we've seen that, you know, over the last few years and in the future, this is projected to grow exponentially, that more and more jobs are going to require these digitally intensive software skills. And so here at Passstream, we've partnered with different tech partners to try to create curriculum that gives students the skills that they would need to pursue these careers at an entry level. So we have, again, I mentioned this before, but to reiterate, we partnered with Facebook to develop a digital marketing certificate where we teach folks what it takes to kind of be an entry-level digital marketer. Same thing with Salesforce. We partnered with their official learning platform, Trailhead, to create a program that would enable people to have a background in Salesforce and ultimately become a Salesforce administrator. Same thing with Asana as far as project management goes, and you'll learn in a little bit that Asana is one of the fastest growing project management softwares that's out there. And then finally with Tableau, and this is what Angie is going to tell you more about in a little bit, we built a data analytics certificate for folks who wanted to get a job in the data analytics industry. And so again, just the main thing to kind of double underline here is that our goal here at Passstream is to create curriculum that puts folks in situations where they're working with these softwares hands-on so that they can develop the digital skills to actually get a job, right? If you take away anything from this webinar, take away that. And I'll probably wind up saying that 2 or 3 more times. So I apologize in advance for being repetitive. So once again, to jump right into being repetitive, we are a tool-based learning curriculum that we put folks in hands-on environments where they can practice with the software and then also work at projects that can become portfolio pieces and also get personalized feedback from an instructor around how you're doing with it, right? And not just like a grade on a multiple choice test. That's not really what we're about, but it's like evaluating how you worked with the software and then offering you the feedback that you might get from a manager in a job setting who's, offering you advice on how to improve using that software. So again, very much on the job, real world scenario based learning. Once again, we're all about that kind of job readiness at the end and having the great career outcome that you want to have. And all the certificates that you'll soon see, there are 3 courses. And so we really pride ourselves on having students be job ready after 3 courses. What's great about this partnership with NYU Tandon is that at the end, you will earn a certificate that has the nice branding from NYU. So it's obviously a major university. It's a super strong brand and it's a really nice certificate to have on your resume. And it's something that you can feature prominently on your LinkedIn profile as well. It looks awesome when we see students share those certificates. And then the career services part, which is, again, we think a huge value add. It's part of the program, and it's really like after you complete the 3 courses and you've learned what it takes to do these jobs, then we pair you with a career coach to really teach you how to talk about your experience, how to navigate the job search, how to get your resume looking awesome, and all the different things that can come up when you're looking for a new job, or if you're looking for a promotion in your current job, right? Some students definitely like to go that route as well. So a little bit more about our career services at Passstream. Throughout the course, you'll notice that everything is aligned with a particular career outcome. You'll be put on newsletters where you'll get targeted job opportunities that you'll be able to see and evaluate as you go. But then during that 3rd and final course, that's when the career coaching really starts to kick in. And so you'll be able to get your resume reviewed, your LinkedIn profile, and we'll offer you suggestions on how to optimize both those things so that they're looking really great. You'll have the ability to jump on Zoom calls with a career coach and talk about your unique needs, the things that you might struggle with, and the things that you might want to work on. And everybody's different. And so we don't force anybody to kind of take a one-size-fits-all approach, but rather the career coach will sit down with you, they'll hear where you're at, they'll learn about your experience, and then they'll tailor the approach based on who you are and what you need. We'll also talk to you about networking, how to target, the particular job that you want on job boards, any referrals that you might need, we can provide those. We can do mock interviews where we walk through typical questions that you might see and, give you supplementary content on freelance opportunities, talk about what it takes to get a promotion, all that good stuff. The program itself, once again, all of our programs are 3 courses, and there's a little bit of variance, like they could either be anywhere from 18 to 21 weeks, depending on which one you sign up for. But after you sign up, we'll give you a very detailed schedule so that you can stay on track. As Alexis was saying earlier, it is flexibly paced. And so there are no lectures that you have to show up to. There are no things that you have to do at a particular time. It's all pretty much when you have availability in your schedule to tackle the learning, that's when you can do it. And so it's definitely flexibly paced on purpose, because we know all the folks out there are adults with busy lives who have lots of different responsibilities. You will have a dedicated instructor, though, available where you can ask them questions. You can ask them about the grades that you received. You can ask them anything that you want to dive deeper on. And typically, because it's an asynchronous course, meaning it's flexible and there are no set times, the best way to kind of connect with that instructor can be through email, but that's something that you'll work out with your particular instructor. And then, of course, at the end, you'll earn that beautiful certificate that I was talking about earlier. Just leave this up here for a second. These are some testimonials from other students that we've helped in the past. And so sometimes these can be helpful for folks out there who are considering the program to see, how other students tackle this stuff and what their experience was like. So just leave that up there for a second for you so you can consider it. All right, we'll keep it going now, and I'm going to pass it to Angie so we can start to dive a little bit deeper into each of these certificates. And Angie is going to tell you about this Tableau data analytics certificate.
Thanks, Anthony. So the Tableau data analytics certificate was built in collaboration with Tableau. And Tableau is currently one of the most powerful data viz tools in the analytics industry, which makes this certificate's alignment with preparing learners for analytics roles extra exciting and way more hands-on. Next slide, thank you. So we've partnered with Tableau because they're committed to increasing education on data analytics. You'll learn foundational skills and get to practice using Tableau for free. So the content itself is hosted online using Pathstream's custom online learning platform, where you'll use the real industry tools such as Tableau, SQL, and spreadsheet software. So the image you see here on the bottom right and images of labs you'll see sprinkled throughout the deck are actual glimpses of the tools you'd see in your labs. For example, this is a Tableau desktop lab you'll be able to jump right into and practice using Pathstream's platform. Everything from the examples in the lesson to the projects and the courses are based on real in-the-job scenarios. We're always trying to simulate that real analyst experience, almost like a 2-in-1. After you've completed the course, your projects can be used to build a portfolio to showcase those skills to future employers. And so these are the formal learning outcomes you'll cover in the course. And I'm not going to go through each one, but essentially there are 3 courses in this certificate, and I'll summarize each course. So in the first course, it's really an introduction to business analytics. And this is where you're really going to dive deep into using Google Sheets for analysis. So the main topics you're really going to cover here are exploratory data analysis and really being able to pull insights and communicate those insights to your business stakeholders. The second course is SQL for Analytics, and this is really where you're going to be using MySQL Workbench and creating DDL and DML queries. And don't worry if you don't know what that is yet, you'll cover all of that in the course, but they're just different types of queries for different types of purposes. And then you'll also dive into a little bit of database normalization. And the third course is where you'll actually learn Tableau itself. So this is data visualization foundations, and you'll start with foundational visualizations, dive into dashboards, stories, and then move into more advanced topics such as optimization. So that's a little bit about all three courses. Great. So let's talk a little bit about the specific careers that this program is going to prepare you for. This program is really geared towards preparing you towards data analyst or business analyst role, but it essentially teaches you all the foundational skills and tools necessary for any type of analyst role, such as product analyst, marketing analyst, healthcare analyst, really any type of analyst. We do have a lot of different types of students coming into this program that might be pursuing different things. So for example, you might be pursuing an entry-level job or an internship. Maybe you're coming in with no experience and starting from the beginning and career changing. You might be in a career that already uses analytics in some way, and this could be a great program for you to upskill and get a promotion or take on more responsibilities. Additionally, we also prepare you for industry certificate exams separate from Pathstream offered by Tableau. This type of Tableau certification can catch the eyes of hiring managers and can open the doors to many roles you're interested in, especially if you decide to concentrate more on the visualization aspect in your analyst career. Next slide, thank you. So what does the data say? What's really great to know as you're considering this program is that the field of analytics is growing. There have been 1 million job postings for analyst roles in the last 12 months and 30% growth in jobs requiring Tableau skills in the next decade. Essentially, data is everywhere and companies need people to interpret and share that data. I want to mention two things. This program doesn't just teach Tableau, it teaches SQL, spreadsheets, and helps you perform exploratory data analysis with all those tools. Also, this program isn't just for data analysts. So many roles today are using analytics skills, and you don't necessarily have to have a data analyst title to be manipulating data. So if you're a project manager, digital marketer, or in a customer success team, there's still a lot of value in this skill set because it is applicable to many industries. And now I'll pass it over to Anthony.
Thank you, Angie. Really great stuff. And I'm loving that I'm seeing all these questions pop in the Q&A. Keep them coming. I promise you we will get to them very soon, but we're going to hold them till the end. So if you had any questions about that Tableau data analytics program, Angie will be more than happy to answer them in just a few minutes. But let's hear a little bit about the Salesforce Administrator Career Certificate. So this program was built in partnership with Trailhead, which is Salesforce's official learning platform. For those of you who might not be familiar, Salesforce is by far the most popular customer relationship management or CRM platform that's on the market right now. And I think the easiest way, if people out there are listening to this and they're like, yeah, I've heard of Salesforce, but I don't know what it is exactly. Like that's a lot of people. So don't worry if you're kind of in that camp. But the easiest way to think about Salesforce is that it is a database. And so it is a phenomenally powerful software that allows you to input all the data that you might have about a customer or a potential customer, and then leverage that data to basically sell to these customers and manage the relationship with these customers more efficiently and more effectively. So in this certificate, you will be working hands-on with Salesforce. You'll also be working hands-on with Google Sheets. And keep in mind that whether it's Salesforce or Tableau, the Tableau program, or the project management program, or the digital marketing program, you don't have to have any experience in these softwares to get started. We assume that everybody who's taking them, you're beginners, and we take you kind of from zero to job. So in this case with the Salesforce, there's no exception there. You don't have to have experience with Salesforce. You don't have to have experience with Google Sheets. We assume that you're starting from scratch, and that is a-okay with us. So just to kind of get a sense of the path that you would be taking with the Salesforce program, course one really gives you the foundations that you would need to just understand the basics of how Salesforce functions as a software, and also understand the basics of things like the sales process and what it means to be working on a sales team and all the foundational knowledge that you would need to actually pursue becoming a Salesforce administrator, which you start to get into in courses 2 and 3. What a Salesforce administrator does is they basically just configure the Salesforce software to best meet the needs of a particular company in a particular industry. Salesforce is a massive, massive software with a lot of different tools, a lot of different features. It's the type of thing that you never stop learning once you're involved with it. And you could imagine that if a big for-profit Fortune 500 company is using Salesforce, and then you have a nonprofit, a small nonprofit that's using Salesforce, their needs are going to be quite different. And so as the Salesforce administrator on the back end, you would be configuring the software to best meet the needs depending on the type of company or organization that you're working for. And that's what you start to learn when you get in courses 2 and 3, is how exactly to go about doing that. There are a lot of jobs out there for people who have Salesforce skills. Salesforce administrator, obviously, we've talked about that. But we've also seen students have a lot of success pursuing roles like sales operations specialist, sales support specialist, sales representative, Salesforce business analyst, even if folks out there have some spreadsheet skills and they want to combine it with what you'd learn in the Salesforce certificate. So there are a lot of different jobs out there, and we also prepare students for the Certified Salesforce Administrator Credential Exam, which is kind of the official recognition that you would get from Salesforce if you pass that test, and a really great thing to have on your resume. So we've talked about the Salesforce admin, but just to kind of reiterate, the Salesforce administrator is, again, it's the person who is configuring the software, configuring the tool to best meet the needs of the company that is using Salesforce. So just, again, keep that in mind if you're wondering what a Salesforce administrator does. They configure, they customize, they make sure that the tool, the software, best meets the needs of the company that they're working for. And, not only Salesforce administrators, but Salesforce jobs in general are needed currently in nearly all industries. So you can see the industries that we have on screen, but it's certainly not limited to this. To put things in perspective, Salesforce, they really see their main competitor these days as Microsoft. So if you can imagine how many different industries and companies use Microsoft Office products, it's quite a lot, then that is the scale that Salesforce sees itself these days as well. So whether it's healthcare or education or marketing or manufacturing, sports, the list goes on and on and on. Chances are there's a Salesforce job there. The data, kind of unsurprisingly, it shows a lot of growth, lots of opportunities. And so once again, it's, if you're interested in the world of sales at all, if you're somebody who likes to use technology to kind of come up with custom solutions for folks, like, this could be a potentially lucrative and interesting path for you to pursue. But now I will pass it on to myself, because I'm also going to be talking about the Asana Project Management Certificate. So just shifting gears a little bit to talk about now this program, which is also, I think, an awesome one. In this case, we partnered with Asana, which, if you haven't heard of Asana, Asana is one of the fastest growing, and I would say most user-friendly project management softwares that's on the market today. And so in this case, we built a program that not only gives you the basics of project management, but also teaches you how to use this project management software, Asana. And once you know how to use a project management software like Asana, it becomes a lot easier to learn other project management softwares. And so it gives you kind of a great foundation to work as a project manager anywhere, regardless of whether or not they use Asana on the job. So once again, Asana is our partner here, and we do put you in kind of real world scenarios where you're managing projects just like a project manager would, and doing assessments that show how you would tackle different aspects of project management, like creating a budget or managing a schedule. And it's a really great way to build a portfolio, and then just to kind of prove to future employers that you're ready to be a project manager in the real world. Similarly to our other programs, we assume that you're a beginner here. And so we just start off in the first course with foundations. And then in course 2, that's when you get to start to work, with things like the budget and things like a communications plan and things like a schedule. And you get to actually put these project plans together. And then finally in course 3 is where things get a little bit more complex, and you start to work with these, more complicated, but I would say also more interesting aspects of really complex project management, like doing a risk analysis and managing risk throughout a project, and figuring out what it means to do quality assurance and quality management, incorporate that in your project plan, and then putting all these different things together in a process that's called integration management. And throughout these 3 courses, we also prepare you for an industry exam, which is called the Kappam Exam, or let's see if we have it on this slide. Yes, we do. The Certified Associate in Project Management exam. And so that's another one of these industry exams that you'll be ready to kind of take when you finish this program. You can have it on your resume, and then you can start to pursue jobs like project manager, project coordinator. And there are a lot of different ways also to pursue promotion in a current role, because project management is one of those things that's like any company that you look at, chances are they have a project management role. And so it's something that we call kind of a no regret skill set. Like there's no way that you're not going to be able to use it once you have it. Once again, the data shows tremendous growth in this industry. It's the reason why we built the program in the first place. And so tons of jobs out there, tons of opportunities for promotions. It's a really, really great skill set to have. Now let me pass it on to Nina. And Nina's going to tell us a little bit more about the Facebook Digital Marketing Certificate.
Thanks, Anthony. So similarly, I'll just walk through how this cert was developed, and also what you can expect to get out of it. So by way of a little bit of background, myself and other learning designers partnered with subject matter experts in digital marketing. So both from Facebook and other smaller companies, to kind of get a range of insights from folks who really know the space. So we asked them, what tools do you need to know? And what are the skills you need to know to get an entry-level job? And then we built the course from there. So like I mentioned, we asked those subject matter experts, okay, what are the tools that somebody coming into digital marketing or who's trying to level up in their career to add that to their tool belt, what tools do they really need to know? So we came up with the tools that you get that hands-on experience with, Facebook Ads Manager, Google Analytics, Google Sheets, and Google Slides. And in each of the major projects that you put together throughout this course, you'll have a nice portfolio that shows your mastery of these tools that you can share with prospective employers and just have as practice. For some example learning outcomes of the 3 courses in the certificate, our first course really walks through the foundations of marketing as well as business concepts. So if you do not have a background working at a company or in marketing, this is where you're going to learn some of the more basic terminology and concepts in business and marketing. I do always like to say that if you do come from a background in marketing and business, I think given that, this was these courses were written recently and have that breadth of insights from different subject matter experts, I think you'll still find that you will definitely add to your tool belt still. So the final project in that first course is developing a marketing campaign for a company of your choice. So we have students that really enjoy the project because they get to choose a company that maybe they work for, maybe they really admire, or they want to get a job at. The second course is all about analytics and performance optimization. So you'll be answering two big questions in that course. One is, how do I know if a campaign was successful? So you put together this beautiful ad, you put it out in the world. How do you know that that was making an impact for your company? And then what can you do to make that ad even more effective? So you'll be able to answer those two big questions by analyzing data in sheets, and then also working on your data visualization skills. Our third course is all about social media marketing. I'm sure all of you know, if you're going to go into digital marketing in this day and age, it's probably wise to have some social media skills under your belt as well. So in this course, you'll put together a digital marketing campaign that includes project pieces in Facebook ads, Twitter, and Instagram posts and ads. So you'll get kind of a nice wide range of best practices for both text and images in various channels. The career outlook for digital marketing is definitely one that is exciting right now, as more traditional marketing transitions more and more into the digital space. So we see that students graduating from this certificate get titles such as digital marketing coordinator and marketing specialist. After taking this certificate, I think one of the coolest ways that I see students applying this certificate is to their own companies. I think students get super fired up when they have this idea, they have their own company, and then they gain the marketing skills to then tell the rest of the world about their product or service. We also see folks get entry-level jobs and internships in that field to kind of get their foot in the door. And then also for folks who just want to add digital marketing to their current job, we see them kind of level up in their careers by taking the cert. Digital marketing is definitely a growing field. In the last 12 months, there have been 300,000 job postings for digital marketing roles. So definitely a space that's, especially in the remote working world, a good space to get into. And we've also seen a 20% growth in jobs requiring digital marketing in the last 5 years. Kind of as I mentioned before, if you're getting into the space of marketing, should definitely be digital marketing, meaning online facing, as more and more marketing expenditure goes towards digital marketing. And I'll pass it back to Anthony.
Thanks, Nina. Yeah, and I just will kind of adjust my screen here so I can show you what the actual platform looks like. So this is the first course in the Asana program called Foundations of Project Management, but the general platform is going to look the same for any course or any program that you sign up for. And so what you see here is when you're going through our platform is that you see these different numbers here, and these are sections. So we have kind of sections that break down your journey through a course. And then within each section, you'll see these titles here, and we call these modules. And then once you click on a module, you can see the different lessons that are in that module. And so I'm going to go down here where it says Introduction to Asana, and notice this cool little beaker test tube icon there. That'll mean something very, very particular that you're going to see in just a second. And so when I click on this module, you'll notice that there are a number of different lessons here. And normally we'd be going through each lesson kind of one at a time, but here I'm going to skip ahead so that I can show you what this beaker icon means, which is a hands-on lab where you actually get to practice using the software in kind of a real world situation. And so I'm going to click on this Asana organization and project types, which is going to, this lesson, give us sort of a high level overview of what it is, of what Asana is, of what the different project types are. Because remember, this is the very, very beginning in the first course in the project management certificate. So you'll notice as you kind of go through this that there are things to read. There are images that highlight the points that are being made. Again, no video lectures here, nothing that you have to attend live, or can do this, totally at your own speed. And we're just kind of going through it. You'll notice a breakdown of an org structure and, establishing norms around vocabulary that we're going to use throughout. And then we have these knowledge checks that are kind of placed throughout. And so you can start a knowledge check, then you get to answer this question. Oh my gosh, lots of pressure. I'm probably going to get it wrong. Don't hold it against me. Let's see. Is it tasks? Nope, got it wrong. Dang. But you'll go down here and you'll notice that you have opportunities, right? Like you could try it again, or you can just show the answer and kind of get an explanation around why that answer was the way that it was. So as you're going through, you also notice that there are videos that you can play that will kind of highlight important information, drop downs that cover kind of the recaps, more knowledge checks. In this case, this is a free response. I'll just put a little submission so you can see that you'll get an explanation as to what the right answer is. And then, there are GIFs or GIFs, who knows how to pronounce it, but we all know what they are. You can play them and it'll kind of give you a breakdown of what you'll see in the actual software. And then as we kind of keep going, I'm gonna skip ahead here to this. This is the kind of the fun part that I wanted to show you, where once you get to this lab environment, this is going to be your opportunity to actually work with the software hands-on. So I'm gonna click Launch Lab, and that's going to launch the app, the Passstream app, and I'm gonna do a new share so that you all can see it. And this might take, a few moments to load because I didn't have this preloaded. I just wanted to kind of go through what to expect. And then great, you're gonna click Launch Lab. And that's awesome. And you'll notice that there are some instructions on the sidebar here that you can control. But first, obviously, I'll need to log into my Asana account. And the great thing about the Asana certificate, and this is true of all of our programs, but you'll be able to get your own account. And so we'll log in here, log in with Google. That's me, Anthony Jones. Oh my gosh, I have to put my password. Everybody close their eyes, please. Don't look at my password. All right, logging in. And this will probably take just a little bit of time because it's my first time logging in. But in the meantime, what I want to show you is that we have these different instructions here on the sidebar. And so this will walk you through what you're doing in the actual Asana workspace, which now you can see here. And so it's a really step-by-step thing that you can kind of go through each step, and you can be working, in Asana. This is actually the software right here. And so you will have, the ability to kind of do that at your own speed in a way that makes the most sense to you. So hope that gives, just a little bit of, color to what our platform actually looks like. But now, once I get my slide deck back up and running, now I think we're getting very, very close to the time where we can take your Q&A. And so I know that there are some questions already in there. Feel free to put some more questions in there. And I'm an old teacher, so there's no such thing as a bad question to me. There's no such thing as a dumb question. I love it when folks ask questions because it just becomes information that we can share with everybody. So feel free to pop anything that you're curious about in that Q&A. But in the meantime, here are the answers to some common FAQs that tend to come up in these presentations. So take a moment also to check out what the total cost is, how you can pay. If maybe you have an employer reimbursement option, that's always a cool way to take these courses. And then, the time expectation that we lay out. When we say 10 to 15 hours per week, we really mean that. And then prerequisites. And here, we say that students should have a high school degree or equivalent, just a basic familiarity with how to navigate the internet and use kind of, technology, but no real prereqs beyond that. So I'll just leave these FAQs up here and we can start to look at some of these questions. Okay, take this first one. So when is the course starting and will you be covering the fees? Does this have ELC reimbursement or sponsorship? So that's a good question. I think the best thing, and let me put up this next slide here, because this is really going to show you when are the next certificates start. So that's going to be November 9th. And you'll notice that there's an email address down there. It's NYU_certificates@passstream.com. Any specific, I think this ELC reimbursement question or sponsorship, that would be a great question to send to that email address. And so I would go ahead and send that question to them, and they will be able to answer that for you for sure. Are we going to have a reference ebook that can be referenced after the training? That's a good question. So there are no ebooks provided, there are no textbooks. Everything is like you saw on the platform. But what we do offer is after you complete one of these certificates, you will have access to all the course materials for 2 months. And so you'll have the ability to still refer to those course materials, and you will also have the ability to take notes on any of those things. In some of the courses, we provide study guides where you can kind of organize your notes and have those reference materials there after you complete everything. Sorry, I meant fee structure for payment. Well, let's go back. Let me just go back here. So you can see again that you can pay in full for a $550 discount or pay using 18-month installment plan. And so there's that with no interest, of course. So I think, again, if you have any questions at all about the specific pay structure or anything like that, your best bet is to, once again, send an email to this NYU_certificates@passstream.com, and we can get any specific questions that you have around the brass tacks around enrollment, get those answered for you. All right, next question. How often do you also start the Tableau course? Are there specific dates or can I start the certification anytime? Yeah, great question. So once again, probably, I get it. Most folks are putting these questions before we actually show this slide, but the next certificates are starting November 9th. If for some reason, November 9th, that date isn't going to work for you, shoot an email to that email address at the bottom, and we will let you know when the cohort after the November 9th one is going to start. Yeah, great question here. Who is conducting the Salesforce admin exam for certification, Salesforce or NYU? The admin exam that I refer to is the official exam. It's through Salesforce. And so if you take that program, we prepare you for that exam, and then we walk you through how to sign up for it. But that's all through Salesforce. It's not through NYU. Does completing courses mean the certification is awarded, or one has to pass the industry exam? Yeah, this is a really good question. So you do get a certificate for passing a Passstream program that has the beautiful NYU branding on it, which is a great thing to feature prominently on your LinkedIn profile and to have on your resume as well. We have seen many students get jobs just on the basis of having that certification. Separate from that, though, are these industry exams like the Salesforce admin exam, the Kappam exam in project management, and also the Tableau exam that Angie mentioned, etc. Those are separate, and typically you have to sign up to take those tests, but we prepare you to take those exams and to do really well. And so we've seen students get jobs with just having their NYU certificate and not having the industry exam. It's definitely possible. The industry exam is another thing, though, that just looks really great on your resume and just bolsters your case when you're looking for a job. Hello, Thomas. Regarding the Tableau course or any course, is there the necessity for being online on a certain day and time for live teachings, or would you have any time to complete the work? Thank you. Angie, you want to take this one?
Sure. So there's no time for you to be online. It's self-paced, meaning As long as you complete the content by the designated deadline, you're good to go. We do have recommended deadlines. So, it doesn't get overwhelming at the end when you're like, uh-oh, I have all these projects at the end of a course, but nope, no obligated time for you to log in for live teachings or anything like that.
Great. And also from Thomas, Angie, regarding the Tableau course or any course, are there any prerequisites around like the software or programs to install beforehand?
Great question. And nope. So one of the perks of our platform is that every tool you will use, so Google Sheet, like all of the Google Workspace, MySQL Workbench, and Tableau Desktop will all be a part of the Pathstream platform within your labs, within the project environment. So you don't need to download anything, and none of that onboarding, did it download correctly or not. It will all be ready for you to use immediately. And then once you finish the certification, we do have instructions on how to download certain software on your computer if you do want to continue having it. But in terms of having it before the course or the certificate starts, you don't need to have that.
Thank you. Jared, are the Passstream programs designed for college graduates, or can people without a college degree also benefit? Yes, absolutely. People without a college degree can benefit. And in fact, we design these programs for folks that take or interested in taking a more non-traditional path. And so you definitely do not have to have a college degree to benefit from one of our programs. Can we hear experiences from previous cohort? That's a great question. I see Angie's typing something that's going to be really awesome. And I also want to tackle that, but I'm going to just hold that one for a second. Ashford, is it recommended to take the Salesforce administrator exam to become certified after completing the certificate? Or would you say this course is enough to land a Salesforce admin position in this field? Great question, Ashford. That is something that you will determine with your career coach after completing the program. I would say in most cases, yes, it is recommended to take the Salesforce admin exam, absolutely. But there are always exceptions to that rule. And depending on your personal experience, that's something to figure out kind of with a career coach. Is enrollment ongoing? Are there fixed dates? We do have kind of fixed dates for cohorts that start, but we're starting new cohorts all the time. So you can see that November 9th date there. And if you want to find out when the next cohort after that's going to start, just email that NYU_certificates@passstream.com email address. What Tableau software will we get, creator or public? Ashley, Angie, do you know?
So you will be using Tableau Desktop, and it won't be public. It will be licensed. So that's another perk. You don't have to pay for it or anything. We will provide that for you within the environment, the Pathstream platform.
Awesome. Does the cost also include exam fees? So not 100%. In some cases, we provide vouchers to cover some of the cost of the exam fee, but there is a percentage that you will have to, because again, that's a separate thing that's outside of the NYU Passstream experience here. Sarah, wow, I see the pricing has gone up since September. Do you have any offers for discounts for the November courses? That's a good question. I would email that email address and ask them if there is anything that we can provide around discounts. It can't hurt, Sarah, to ask. And finally, will I require additional studies for the Tableau exam certification? Angie, what do you think?
Great question. So we do recommend that you do additional studying. We do prep you for the Tableau Desktop Specialist exam, but the formatting of the questions and all that, requires some additional studying. So at the end of the course, you'll see that we provided additional resources on how to best prep for that exam. So you can definitely feel free to use those resources to study. In terms of like new content you need to learn, you shouldn't need to learn new content. It's just in terms of prepping for the actual exam.
Awesome. Sarah, you're welcome. I saw a question in the chat that Veronica, thank you, just put in. Is there a way to speak with the career coach prior to enrolling in the program? Again, that is something definitely you should shoot an email to that email address and ask. I have a feeling we'll probably be able to accommodate that. And finally, I just wanted to, there's this really great question. I know Angie provided something brilliant. Thank you, Angie, for typing it out. But we have a couple minutes and someone wanted to know, is there any way to kind of hear from a previous cohort around what their experience has been? And I just wonder, maybe Alexis, if you could speak to that around like how previous cohorts, like what is their experience been or what have you observed?
Sure. So a lot of the feedback that we've gotten from the students around previous cohorts has been really positive around the quality of the learning and the quality of work that they, the quality of the instructor kind of feedback and participation. And I'm thinking specifically, the instructors really kind of say the more that the students are engaged with them and the more that they come to their weekly office hours and the more that they're able to engage with the instructor and kind of take advantage of those NYU instructors, and then also kind of thinking about they're all working professionals and industry professionals also, so like really getting that real time and kind of feedback from what's going on in the field has been really helpful. But I think that most of the people that we've heard from and have been really positive about just like the depth and of the way that the content's delivered and the kind of the building the curriculum.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for that perspective. And also maybe Angie already mentioned this, but some great ways to kind of hear from past students would be to go to our success blog, which you can find from our Passstream website, and also our YouTube page where we've interviewed students and talked to them on our podcast, and that's youtube.com/Passstream. Sarah, real quick, she wants to know about taking multiple certifications. I love the ambition there, Salesforce and Tableau. Any recommendations for a person who wants to take multiple ones? My recommendation would be to, I would say probably your best bet is to not do them at the same time because that would be a ton of work. But B, I would shoot that in the email to that NYU_certificates email address so that you can kind of talk to an enrollment advisor and they can kind of give you some perspective. Anthony, how does the program help us get a job? We'll be able to see John posting at NYU. Will the program also help for the interview process? That is going to be, okay. Two things super quickly is, number one, all of the curriculum in any of these programs is going to be aligned around giving you real world on the job skills that you can apply in an entry level position. And so everything that you're doing is going to be making you job ready, right? But then the second part of the program is once you start to finish in that third course is we start to pair you with a career coach who's going to look at your unique case and start to offer you advice, resources, and practice around how to actually take what you've learned and turn it into a job. And so those are the two ways that we really try to do that. Will there be any in-person interaction sessions or 100% online virtual? That is something that your instructor will determine. There may be an opportunity to do some limited in-person, but I would say for the most part, it is going to be 100% online. So hopefully that answers the question. Oh my gosh, I love these questions, and we have one more minute, so we're going to get to all of them. Is the project management certificate relevant for a career with a nonprofit organization culture sector? You bet it is, because it is project management fundamentals, pure and simple. So you can apply project management fundamental skills to any industry and any sector, and that's why we kind of love and structured the program the way that we did to make it applicable to all these different situations. And so it's certainly not limited to any particular industry. It's just meant to give you kind of the skills of a great project manager. So with that, I think those are all the questions. Amazing group. Thank you so much for the interaction. Big thanks to, Thomas, okay, you're sneaking one right in there at the buzzer. I like it. Hello, is there a way to be specific about the career coach? When do they reach out to you? Are they around for the whole time? So, Thomas, I would, when you get the recording of this webinar, I would kind of rewatch that part. I know it was quick, but there is a slide that describes the different ways in which the career coach helps. What they do is the career coach will reach out in that third course. So once you're coming to the end of the certificate, that's when you'll start to connect with them. If you wanted to connect with them sooner, that is a possibility, but that's something that we typically grant on an individual basis. So thank you for that final question. And thanks to Angie, thanks to Nina, thanks to Alexis. So I think I had to run to another meeting. And yeah, just love talking to you all. And if you have any more questions, just email that NYU_certificates@passstream.com. Thanks again. Have a good one. Bye-bye.